Hey guys, it's Jonathan from the Howard Hospitality Group. Welcome to another live. Um, it is 4 o'clock on Tuesday, December 9th. Welcome to our channel. Welcome to our live stream. Man, I can't believe it's Tuesday already. It's crazy. We we are planning on going hunting today for locations. We've got some machines in our garage. We got to get out, and I've been working on this list to because I'm kind of OCD on my list of what I take out, and I realized that I didn't have everything in order that how I usually do it, and I didn't have everything organized. So I spent the entire morning and getting everything ready and trying to just be organized. And it wasn't organized. So when I do my list, I try to do, since I'm not that familiar with the new area, what I try to do is put them in order. So, by little groups of areas. So then that way, when you go out, or when I go out, I'm following a path and I'm not double back, driving backwards and covering, the same area twice. So that's kind of how I do things. So I'll go to Google Maps. I'll find all the locations, all the information on them, and then I make a list, and then I go back and I actually map out where we're going and what we're gonna do. And it was really really bad because there's a lot of locations that I want to hit, and there's a lot of locations. So it took me a good probably 2 hours. There's a program that a friend of mine told me about that's supposed to be able to map out. I don't know if it's AI or what it is, but it's supposed to map out, like, if you give it a bunch of addresses, it'll put them all in order. And I think you can just use chat GTP, but I'm not sure. But the idea is that you can map out, your route, and then I'll have to do what I did, which is go through and find everything. Hey Kevin, how are you? Oh, I guess I can pop these up. Let's see. Where is Matt and David and Jen Vending? So Jen is out on route. Matt is not available tonight, and David is also not available tonight. So it's just me. I'm trying to do one or two of these a week, along with our Vending Academy meetings once or twice. Well, we try to meet 2 days a week. So we try to meet on Mondays for sure in the morning for Vending Academy, and then we also meet usually Thursday or Friday. We thought we were going to meet on Wednesday this week, but I've got to go deliver a machine to a location, so I can't do. Millie's got to do a route on Wednesday. So we go out on Wednesdays, usually just do the route, but I thought I might be able to do a meeting too, but it's just not possible this Wednesday. So Frank, I guess, is having truck problems, he said. So he wasn't available either. So I sent him a thing saying I was going up if he wanted to come, but he is also, yeah, all by myself. Yeah, singing all by myself. That's me. So I'm here. I'm not as good as all four of us are for sure, but I'm here to help to answer questions. Some people had a bunch of questions on the Vending Academy. I can answer questions on that. We got a bunch of new members already this week, which is great. And what we're trying to do is build a new community that is super positive, and that we can all, share ideas in kind of a private place, which is great. And it's been super successful. We've all learned things, which is great. So, but I do have my coffee today. So you guys asked where my coffee was. It's right here. So, and I do apologize. Hopefully, you can hear me okay. I went back and moved some content around on our channel and watched a little bit of last week's live stream, and I was getting over a cold, and it sounded like I was breathing into the microphone. So I apologize if it was really bad last week with that. So I moved the microphone off to the side. I'm hoping that'll help. Clear totes versus bags. So we talked about this, yeah, actually in the Vending Academy Friday, I think it was, or was it yesterday? I think it was Friday, right, Frank? I'm pretty sure. and what what we store our stuff in. So what did everybody has kind of their own unique storage ideas. And so we were talking about, what's the best storage for going out on your route, and what's the best storage for back at your shop or your garage or whatever. We have our own way. A lot of people, which I can talk about in a minute, but a lot of people had a lot of cool ideas. So they would, we have one guy in the Vending Academy, and he has kind of a cool wall setup with these tubs that are actually on the wall, but the fronts of them, come out, and so then he can just grab kind of whatever he wants, or they can grab whatever they want out of those stashes. And so that was a pretty cool one. And then we had another guy that uses all clear totes for his storage and for his route. So he has a pickup, and so which is nice. Wish we had a pickup. We don't have a pickup, but he's got a pickup. So in the bed of his truck, he's got all his clear totes in there, and then he has like a little mini, either a bag or something that he takes in with him to fill his machines. Jen, who has a van, which is pretty sweet, set up in her van. She put some pictures up of the stuff that she takes, because she does a lot of machines in a day, and the stuff that she has to take is pretty extensive. So she had some ideas of her own. We went to Costco. We like the Costco tubs. We bought some of the Home Depot yellow and black tubs, and the lids cracked on us. It seems that like the ones from Costco for us, anyways, they're a little more pliable, and they don't crack and break. So we use the Costco tubs when we get a bunch when they're on sale. So I think they had them on sale for like $7.99 one time, but usually they're around $9 to $10. And so we get those, and then they actually sell a rack, and it's a metal rack. But a lot of people will build them. If you look on TikTok, and actually in the Vending Academy in the classroom, there's actually no, it was in the comments. I shared a TikTok video of a guy who shows you how to build the wood rack, which is pretty cool. And he builds them this way, so they're kind of the small side of it is facing you, and then he also builds them. This video that I shared is actually sideways, so it takes up less room in your garage along the wall. So you pull them out from the side, which I thought was kind of cool. So Frank's sending me ideas to talk about. So that was one of the things that we talked about in the Vending Academy on Friday. This week, we had a pretty good meeting on Monday. It went, I think, 2 hours. It was pretty long. And it's great because all the videos are available to go back and watch if you want to. Let's see. What does he say? New here, but getting a lot of no's. What can I do to stop feeling defeated with no's I've been receiving? So we talk about this actually quite a bit in Vending Academy, and there's also videos on it. But for us, we like what I'm gonna do when I go out this week to hunt locations, because I don't know if it's like your mojo or like like your confidence. Like I haven't really hunted in a really long time, so I needed to kind of get my confidence up last time too. Is that I kind of hit the spots that aren't as important to us. A couple of those in the beginning in the area of some spots that I really want, just to kind of get warmed up. I think that helps a lot. And we usually have, so like Amelia uses her iPad with all of her images on it. She has a slide that talks about questions that they might have. She has a ton of images of her machines in different locations. Excuse me, I got a cough. Hold on. Excuse me, I didn't want to cough in your ear. So she has a lot of videos or photos of her machines on location, and then and she knows them like what order they're in. So she tries to kind of like, if it's a restaurant or a boba shop or an ice cream shop or whatever it is, she tries to show videos of other types of locations like those and the machines that are in them. And so she really likes the iPad. Me being old school and old too, so on top of it, I have a binder that I put together. I got it on Amazon. It's a leather. I don't even think it's real leather. I think it's just a leather looking binder with like, gold edges. And then I went and I printed all my information, and then I laminated it and put it in the binder, and so I could show it in the shiny and nice. And then I also have pictures, a ton of pictures on my phone. So if there's something that they're interested in, then I can show them something else on my phone, and I can search it up pretty quick on my phone. But I think the iPad is nice. We got it for her to kind of use for that reason, and it's just become her iPad now. So she just keeps it. She uses it for everything. So we don't really have like a Howard Hospitality Group iPad anymore. It's kind of Amelia's iPad. So she uses that. I use that. We did print brochures at one point, but I changed them like three times and reprinted them, as we ran out. I think that they're great. I honestly don't know if you necessarily need, to print brochures if you have business cards and like a binder like I do. So I'm in the process of designing some new business cards because our business cards are horrible. So I think that you really need to, have like legit looking business cards. And we printed some that we thought were going to look fantastic, and they were actually horrible. I don't even know if I have any here to show you. But we had an image on the back of like one of our arcades, which is a pretty cool shot, but it's so small on a business card that it just didn't look good. So I'm going to redo some cards, probably just in black. And I don't necessarily think you need anything fancy. You're gonna have to circle back with the people. They're not gonna call you back. So that's what we use. And I think that your question, or what we were saying, Frank, is that feeling defeated with the nose, I think is part of the game. I think that as you get going, you get more confident, and no's are just going to be part of what happens. And I don't think you should take it personally. I think a really good thing to do if you're new and you really don't know what you're doing is to ask the owner and just say, hey, I'm trying to get this business started. It's like my first, business ever. I don't know if this is true or not, but, do you have any advice for me on like, me, the way I pitched you, or, maybe you don't want to say pitch, but maybe you want to say, is there anything that I could have changed about what I said? Or, do you have any tips for me on what you liked and what you didn't like about what I said? Because it would really help me. And then maybe it can further continue the conversation with them, and it might even get you into that location because you really do care about what you're doing. And I think that that's key, and I think it shows that you value their opinion, and I think that might be something that might help you. Jesse says, I'm a lot less nervous by the second or third location. And he goes to least favorite locations first. It does really help a lot. Yeah, I think it does. I think that, Amelia, even in she's been doing it for, we're going into almost our sixth year now, and she says, she listens to music on the way that she wants to listen to, and kind of gets herself pumped up. But even she says, she's like, I'm out of practice, I'm out of form. Um, there's some cheerleading word for it. I can't remember what it is that she uses because she does the cheer stuff. So I think that no matter how good you are at it, I think you really need to be feeling it. And if you get going and you get dressed and you're ready to go and you just aren't feeling it, don't go. Don't put yourself through that. Like, don't feel like you need to go that day. Like, if you feel like, maybe go get some lunch, or go get a bagel or something, and maybe then if you feel that your confidence building again, then go out. But don't force yourself to do it, because then it's going to sound forced. And I think that you really want to have, I think the hardest thing to to teach, because we've helped a lot of people grow and get locations, and with their pitches and stuff. And I think we're gonna do that in Vending Academy. I think Amelia and I are gonna do a little like a seminar, or like a not a seminar, but like a little video on pitching. and have her pitch to me, and I'll be a business owner, and we'll kind of handle objections and stuff to see if that helps some people. But I think that the hardest thing is making it sound like the conversation you're having with them is not salesy. It's not that you're nervous. It's not forced. It's that it sounds natural. And I think that comedy is one of the hardest things to bring into a conversation when you're new, and because you got to remember, we talk about this in Vending Academy almost every meeting, that we do fun. That's what we do. I mean, we bring claw machines or bulk machines or vending machines or whatever it is with toys and plush, and that is what we do fun stuff. And so I think that that's what a lot of people forget is I don't think you necessarily need to sound cocky. I think that's the worst thing you can possibly do, but I think you need to sound confident that we do bring fun. Like, this is fun, and like get them to believe that. And I think that Natalie and I actually, we went to a dinner a couple nights ago. We talked about it in the academy, or I talked about it in the academy, because we went to a dinner that wasn't even related to vending, or it was something to do with her work. And we ended up getting a location because we met like one of this lady that, and it was one of the locations that I've been trying to get into for quite a while. Like, I've sent the lady emails and stuff. She never responded. But Natalie and I, we tag teamed it at dinner with this lady, and she's just like, "Oh yeah, bring one tomorrow," And it's like, if it's natural, and we weren't even pitching to pitch. We were just kind of just talking to her about what we did, and then it kind of turned into that. But I think that that's what it should be. It should be a natural conversation. So let's see. Frank, another one. Super new and curious. What's the difference between full line, bulk vending, and mini claw machines? So I'd say that it'd be three. I wouldn't. So I would say that it'd be full line, bulk vending, and amusement. So I think that's because we should probably include more than just mini claw machines. But the full line is considered drink and snack machines. Or if you do micro markets, like if you go to like the airport and you just open up refrigerators and grab what you want out of it and scan it on the way out and pay. Those are like little micro mini markets. That's full line. So drinks, snacks, mini markets. Bulk vending is going to be or like the little capsule toys. Anything that's nowadays, now they're getting into where you have electronic bulk vending, which is pretty cool. So you can do machines that actually can take credit cards and bills and all kinds of stuff. But bulk vending would be stickers, tattoos, capsules of certain kind, gumballs, candy, anything like that is bulk vending. And then mini claw machine or amusement would be anything that is claw machine related, prize related, basically any type of vending that is you're basically doing like plush, racers, shooters, anything that you see like in an arcade. That would be more amusement, or mini claw machines or large claw machines or that kind of stuff. So that's the difference. Another one from Frank would say, still learning, but what is a good commission amount? So I think that depends on what you feel comfortable with and what your costs are. So, and I think you should be very honest with the location about, especially if they've had a vendor before. So in the industry, hold on one second, my throat's dry. In the industry for the longest time, everybody would tell, the vendors would tell their locations, oh, we're going to give you 50% commission. So, and that wasn't really true. So the way that it worked was, it wasn't 50%, it was 50% after their costs. So roughly it came out to anywhere between, depending on what their costs were, 15 to 30 to 40% maybe. So I think that is what you're comfortable with and what your costs are. So as long as you're covering your costs, depending on where you got your toys, how much your toys are, you can't give somebody 50% of, and it should be any, whether you're doing 50% or you're doing 30%, or is it, after your costs, is it 50% of, the net net or 50% of the gross. So I think that that is something you need to consider. Like, I wouldn't base your commission rate on the total of what the machine did, because you got to take out all of your costs first. So gas, time, toys, or whatever it is you're vending, any product you're vending, and any other costs that you might have. I mean, you got to pay for insurance, you got to pay for your business license if you're getting one. You got to pay your annual, LLC. You got to pay if you have a website. Do you have cards? Do you have, any kind of cost that you have to do business? You need to make sure that you're spreading that out of all your locations and that you're covering all your costs, because a lot of people forget that it's it's not, how do I say it? Like, you have a lot of costs that a lot of people that are new to the industry don't realize that are there, and that you need to come up with all that money up front to get started, and then you need to pay off your machine and all your toys and all that stuff. So a lot of people think you just buy a machine and some toys and you stick it out and you make a ton of money, and that's not true, especially if you're paying commission, because if you're basing your commission on 50% of sales, you're going to be hurting, because it's you really got to cover your costs, and I think that that's way too high. So I think that commission rate depends on your business and what's comfortable for you. Average in the industry is probably somewhere between 20 and 30%. Commission is probably a good average. If you can get lower, that's even better. If you donate to a nonprofit as part of your vending, you need to make sure that they know that, and that should come out first before you pay them. And hopefully they'll be okay with that. So, what's up, you guys? What's happening? So Zeb and you guys, I hope everybody's going good. He just joined the academy today. He had just had time, so excited to have him in the vending academy. So, yeah, it's growing. I think it's really cool. We're real excited, and I think it's a good group so far. And I'm hoping, we can get to like 200 people and just have these huge meetings twice a week, where we just share, everything and what we got going on, and just watch people grow, including us. I mean, we still have a long ways to go of growing. We're not slowing down anytime soon. And I think it's really important to work as a team. And hopefully, and if we're a bigger group, we can work together with a lot of these vendors, and start working on discounts and bulk purchases and new designs for machines. And there's so many things that I'd like to do with everybody, and I think that together we can accomplish that kind of stuff, and kind of maybe even steer the way that some things are being done and created and stuff. I think it'd be pretty awesome. So let's see. Okay, so I think I got all the comments. What else do I want to cover? So somebody sent me a message, and they were wondering about, we were talking about hunting up there. Oh, I got a new, let's see, I got a new comment that says, do you provide any type of tax document for the location if you pay commission? Yes, you do. So you need to give them, why is my brain not working? What's it called? That's another thing too. So they need to realize that they have to pay taxes if you pay them commission. So they need to report it. And what is the name of the file? Oh, I can't think of it right now. But yeah, W3. So W3. Why, I don't know. Somebody will pop it in the comments here in a second. I think it's a W3 form, but maybe I can't remember what it is, the name of it offhand. But yes, if you do pay commission, you need to give your location that. And so you give them the total of what? W-9. Thank you, Jesse. My brain is not working today. So you give them a W-9 form at the end of the year, and shows how much you paid them in commission, and then they need to pay taxes on that. So they need to realize that they need to pay tax on that. So hopefully they're on the up and up. I've heard of people, that they have locations that don't want to do that, and but if they want to make money off you, then they need to pay taxes. So, I mean, unless you work something out with them somehow. But yeah, sorry, I have somebody messaging me. I want to see if I think they have a question. Hold on one second. Let's see. Oh, it's a Kiosoft question. They need help, so I'll help them after we get off the live stream. 1099. That's it. Yeah. So you get request the info with the W-9, but give them the earnings at the 1099. There you go. So, excuse me. Hold on a second. So yes, you do need to make sure that they report and you report. Because if you're reporting all of you're paying them commissions and then they're not reporting getting the commissions, they can get in trouble. I'm not sure if you would get in trouble for that, but I think they can get in trouble for that because they're not. You're saying they made money, they're not saying they did, and then they are gonna owe money. So yeah, got to make sure it's all legit. So let's see, covered all those. So, anyways, I had somebody ask me about adding machines to a location. So they have a location. I was texting them earlier today, and they put a little mini claw machine in there, and it's doing really, really well. And they have extra space there, and so they're wondering what to add. And so a lot of people have this conundrum that happens where they've got the space. When you first go to a location, like all the old school guys are always like, well, why'd you put a little one there in the first place? And the reason is because not many locations want these big old claw machines in the beginning. And to get into a location, a lot of times the minis is the best way to do it because they're small. Even a small bulk machine, like a 2-inch bulk with some pokeballs or something to get into a location is a great way to start. If they don't want to give you power or whatever it is, but the minis are great ways to get into locations. And a lot of times, down the road, they're like, oh, this is the best thing ever. Do you have any other types of machines you could bring in? And so I think that there's a whole debate going on of, do I put another mini in there? Do I put a larger machine in there? And I think that it depends on the location, and I think that that's something that we're going to talk about this week on Vending Academy on Friday, because we started talking a little bit about it the other day in Vending Academy, and I want to get some more people's opinions because I really feel like there's so many new types of machines out there that aren't super huge, that are, that can be put together with a mini, or even a couple medium sized machines. So I want to talk about that in Vending Academy. So if you guys are interested in that, join us on Friday and we'll talk about that. So, because the person was really wondering what to do, and I gave them, a little bit of advice, but I said, let's talk about it Friday and get some other people's opinions. So if that's something you're interested in, I know we're going to be talking about that on Friday. So another one, let's see. Here we go. It says, just dropping in. Do you have any tips on approaching businesses for machines? Tips. Oh, around. Oh, I see. Approaching businesses for machines. Yes. So we do a pretty extensive hunting operation, is what we call it. We were super OCD. David did a really good in our Vending Academy. He did a really good video on getting your first location where he shows you how to search for them. I've taken that and gone even further with that, and then we do a pretty extensive Excel spreadsheet on our locations and hunting, and then also a big deep dive into each of the locations and finding out information about who the owner is, and all kinds of stuff like that. So if that's something you're really interested in, definitely get into the academy, because there is the David's video, and then we did a video, and then we are going to be talking about somebody asked if we do like a hunting thing, which I don't know if we'll have time Friday along with that other one, but maybe we can cover it a little bit and then maybe do some more on Monday. But yeah, definitely it's something that a lot of people struggle with, and we talked about it in one of our live streams. I think it's the hardest thing about the business is getting locations and knowing what to say and all kinds of stuff. So yes, let's see. Frank said, "New to the game, still learning. I'm very old. How do I keep up with the current trends? How do you do it with not having kids?" Um, that's actually going to be one of the topics coming up at MBVA. So at the conference, we do seminars. So if you're not an MBVA member, I highly recommend you join. I can't see my screen. So MBVA is, if you go to mbva.org, they do a conference every March, the end of March, every year. It is probably for our industry, being like amusement, claw machines, bulk vending. It's probably the best show I think out there. There's bigger shows which are like IAPA in Florida once a year, which is in November, but it covers, or I'd say probably 80% of it is not even our industry. So it's like, it's cool that it's big, but I think you get more out of MBVA in March than you do IAPA, just because it really is not. I don't think you're going to be doing, it's there, you're going to be, I don't think you're going to be doing roller coasters for amusement parks and giant water slides and stuff. I mean, unless the stuff that you're into as part of your business, like you rent out water slides, then sure, I'd say go to that type of one. But it's hospitality. It's a whole thing to do with like theme parks and stuff, and then there's an amusement part to it. So I think that you get a few more Chinese suppliers that come to the IAPA in November, but I think that the suppliers that you really want to work with are all going to be at MBVA, and I think that that's your best show. And we're doing a seminar. We do a seminar, a day of seminars. It starts at like 9:30 in the morning and goes to like 3. And there's a bunch of seminars, and one of them is keeping up on trends. What to use to know what's coming out and what the next popular thing is going to be. And the president, Jennifer Janes, who goes by Jen Vend, is her business. She's the president of NBVA. She's going to be doing along with, I believe, Lori, going to be doing a deep dive into how to get trends and that kind of stuff. So definitely go to MBVA. How do you spell MBVA? Just like that. MBVA.org. And and you can join. I'd get your hotel rooms as soon as possible, because it does. There's two big shows that are going on during that time in Vegas, and another one is a a huge show that's happening at the same time. So hotel rooms usually are a little scarcer during that time. So I would book your hotel as soon as possible, and get in there and get your hotel room and sign up for MBVA, so you can have everything set up and ready for you when you come. So next one is new here. I've seen some videos out there. Do you really get rich from one machine in one location? The answer is no. Um, you could have a really, really good location, but you're not going to get rich. And I think that it's best to grow to a minimum amount of machines, especially if you're doing full line, which is really hard. I think that we didn't start to really make pretty good money until we were up to like 10 machines. We don't do full line anymore. Um, but being able to move product around for different machines, and that's when you start making a little bit of money. As far as amusement's concerned, one machine is not going to make you a ton of money, and you're going to be buying plush and stuff or toys in such small amounts that they're going to cost more to put into the machine. So you're going to be making less per transaction per machine. Plus, I don't know if you're paying commission. So I think that it takes a while to grow. And the best way to do it, we just talked about this week, is to take the money you make from your first location and then get another machine, put it in another location, and that kind of thing, and just grow. And hopefully you can do that for 6 months to a year and grow as much as you can until you can possibly then not be as buying as many machines unless you need to grow more, and then you can start making money on those machines. I think that we did a deep dive. I don't know if it was like a year ago or what it was, with a bunch of other members, and on like, how many machines do you need, in your route to, we did like a whole with David, and I don't know who else was with us, but we did a big thing on a big spreadsheet because he's good with numbers, and figured out like how many machines do you need so you can quit working, at a real job. And it was a pretty good thing. Maybe we'll talk about that in Vending Academy. That'd be a pretty good subject too. Let's see. Next one. Caden says, "Do you think amusement's better to get into because drink machines are too saturated, or do you think there's still a lot of locations for food and drink machines?" It seems like, I don't know. I think it depends on the market. So I don't know where you live, but if like where we live, there is, like where we are is pretty full with drink and snack machines. Just outside of our area, there's a bunch of tech stuff going in, and with a lot of employees and stuff. And I think that, that if you're in that kind of market where they're adding, giant buildings and tons of employees, and you can get into where, or if, a lot of these locations, like in full line, especially, excuse me one second, a lot of people don't do a good job. So there's one guy that's in the academy that, he just got a location from somebody else because they were just horrible at it. And so if you can go into a lot of these spots, and do a better job, or provide them a different type of machine or something new, it's not great to steal locations, but if they're not doing the job, they're not doing the job. And I think that there is a lot of that out there that's still available, because I think that a lot of people get super passive over time, don't service their machines, don't fill them. When we were in full line, we acquired tons of machines, from people that just called us because they were having horrible service. We didn't go out and seek them. We just got phone calls because they went into those other people's locations, and like, who does your drink and snack machines, because they look really nice and they look taken care of, and then they're like, oh yeah, call these guys, they're great, and so then we got the phone call. So I think there's still a lot out there, depending on where you live. So it's hard to say. I think that you don't make as much money on drink and snack machines as you do on amusement. So you're dealing with, larger machines, more expensive machines, tougher to move, heavier product that expires. So there's a lot of negatives, but if you're really good at it, you can make pretty good money. I think that you need to be really good at it, and you need to deep dive and grow. And until you grow to a certain level, then you'll start making really good money. But it does take a while. It's a harder haul. I mean, it's definitely, we're at the point where we were, and then we just passed it on to somebody else, that took over, because it's too much for us, so we couldn't do it. And and those people are doing great. So I think that it's one of those things that, if it's what you want to do, totally. But it's what you like. Do you like amusement? Do you like? I mean, amusement is also getting saturated. So, is there any locations left for amusement in where you're at? That's a question too. So how do you start? What's step one? I think that, any help that you can get, whether it's from YouTube videos or, like Discords, or our Vending Academy is fantastic. JR is in the Vending Academy too, which I think that, it's a great place to go, and it's a happy place. It's a place of support, and I think that finding a niche or a group of people that can help you is a great way to get started. Or watch, there's tons of content out there now. There wasn't before when we got started, but I think there's a lot of content out there, and that's how we learned how to do full line, was from watching, this one guy with all his videos. Is how I learned, because Amelia wanted to do it, and I just started watching videos. So I think that that's a great way to get started. Frank says, "I finally got my machine. Does this mean I can quit My job. Yeah, that's what I was just talking about. And I think that you have to figure out. I don't know what salary it, people are comfortable with. Um, Sorry, I had to cough again. I think that it depends. So, like, you'll need more machines for whatever, depending on what salary you want to make. But no, you can't quit your job, and it's going to take a while, and it's several machines before you'll be at the point where you can quit your job. But it's a great side hustle. It's not passive. People think it's passive where you don't do it, but in order to grow and to do it right, do need to put a lot of time into it. So, um, what are your thoughts about tobacco vending machines and like bars and clubs? So, I think vending machines are great in bars, and I think that you know I think there's a lot of opportunity out there. They're starting to allow it in California. I don't know about other markets, but there's CBD vending machines in California. They check your ID, when you scan it in, and you can purchase CBD products. I don't know if that's going to go everywhere, but you can definitely. There's all different kinds of vending that you can do, but I think any kind of stuff you can do in bars is fantastic, and I think it's a great location for people they're stagnant, and it's fun to dance and drink, but they're always looking for something else to do. So I think that it's definitely a good place for them. Are you thinking about mini marts? No. So we don't do full line anymore. We're amusement only at this point now. Some bulk, but mostly amusement. Um, uh, I know that Jaime's done the mini markets, and there are mini versions of those machines, like the ones that Matt got recently. I can't think of the name of them because my brain is slow today. Where they're standalone versions of like the mini market machines where you open them up and you pull out what you want and then pay for it. And those are available now at in a smaller. I think those are fantastic. So something like that might be a way to go. But not for us. We're not gonna do full line anymore because we have so much going on with amusement now that we just can't. So, haha vending. That's it. Thanks, Claw Magic. I couldn't think of the name of it. Frank says, I heard claw machines are really popular. Thoughts? I think they are. I think that they've always been for like a long time. I think that it's great to have also new types of machines that are coming out. So, sorry. Machines that are like clip machines, stacker machines, new versions of those. We have some machines like from Pipeline, like the Perfect 10, like the smaller version of the where's my brain not going? It's over the edge, but I'm trying to think who makes. My brain's not telling me who's making it. I love that machine version. The smaller version of that. They're pricey, but they're very popular. But you'd need to stock product just for those machines because they do the blind box. It's a blind box machine, and I think that it's there's a lot of new exciting stuff that you can add to your repertoire now, which I think is super cool. So like Rainy, who we get pretty much almost all of our machines from, we get some from Pipeline and a few other suppliers, but she makes a mini clip machine, and she makes mini prize lockers that are stacked, 4 or 5 prize lockers that you can add to your mini to make, like a little mini wall of 3 different types of machines. I think that there's a medium sized stacker machines available from Pipeline now that is like the new version of the old stacker, which people always like that machine. There's a lot of new stuff that's out, and I think mixing it up with your normal machines, especially on a mini scale. So like if you're doing like the mini, regular mini, you have your spin and drop mini, and a prize locker or something like in an area that doesn't take up too much room. You're only talking, I don't know what. My math is horrible, but 14, 14, 14, whatever that is total. 28 plus 14. That many inches wide, which is crazy, and 18 inches deep. I think that's a big, that's a tiny little space of really cool, three little cool machines together. And that's really neat that there's all this new stuff coming up. Let's see. And they are very popular claw machines for sure. Which should you get first, the location or the machine? That's a good question. There's that people argue that all the time, and some people do it one way, and some people do it the other way. Me personally, I've always said to have the machines first because I know we can place them. I know we're not going to be stuck with the machine, so I always order the machines first, and then we go out hunting because and I always like to have some on hand because then you never know what's going to happen, or you may get a location just randomly. And if you don't have a machine, it really sucks to have them wait, 60 to 80 days to get a machine. So I always think machine before location. I really feel like we're confident enough in ourselves that we can get locations. And if not, we can always go do some events, bring the machines out, advertise ourselves. We can do all kinds of stuff with the machines. So I really think that just having them around is always good. I like the mini claw machine. Yeah, they're pretty sweet. Do you think that Trump's tariffs are going to affect us? They already have. Everything's gone up for shipping and bringing stuff into the U.S. It really sucks. I hope that all goes away soon. I don't know if it will. Probably not, because by this point, I mean, they're still there. They're down from what they have been. But I think that they're going to be there for a while, unfortunately. And it's really dumb. Because, I mean, I don't want to get into political talk about anything, but I really don't like tariffs, especially in our industry where, we do a lot of business with China. And I think that sucks, and there's a lot of businesses that do 90% of their business with China, and they're all struggling with stuff now. Things that used to be, inexpensive to get are super pricey now at almost every store. So it's extremely frustrating. So yeah, hopefully they won't affect us anymore is my fingers crossed thought of the day. Claw Magic. What is your thought on US Fun Gaming a claw machine as you buy a certain amount of product a month? So a lot of people do that. I think it's as long as you like their plush, and you're happy with that. And the fact that, like, I think that at some point you'd probably want to own those machines, so you'd want to do a plan where you're paying them off, you're not just getting product for them, so you'd pay more probably a month than you'd want to buy the machine in the long run, because I think that you're at some point going to want to put your own stuff in there. And I think that's the major hiccup with those machines, is that you don't get to choose what goes in there. Your only choices are what you get from them. So I think for people that want to get into the industry, and you're dealing with large machines too. So if you're gonna do like a claw room, or you have locations, or you can get locations that can accept large machines, I think it's great. Or they have like the Volkswagen Bug or Bus, a machine, and a few others that are super cool. But those take up a huge amount of space. So I think that if you're an operator that is trying to place machines in locations with little or no space, I think it's a hard sell for that. So I think that a lot of people forget how hard it is to place machines. And I think that when you're trying to place a bigger machine, even though they're, great looking machines, it's a lot harder. So, and most of the time in your town, like, there's probably some old crusty vendor that's in all the pizza places, or that's in all the bigger stores that can take these types of machines. So I think they're fantastic for people that can't afford to buy their own machines up front. But I think that if you're going to do it, you'd want to set it up because they have different options available for payment. So you can pay, just for the plush, and that's all you pay for, and nothing onto the machine. But I think you'd want to, in the long run, be paying towards paying off that machine, even though it may be more than what you would have bought, machine from somebody else up front. Like if you were to buy the same machine from Rainy, it probably cost you a quarter of the price up front. But you also have to remember that you have to pay for the shipping to get those machines to you. So you're not getting the machines completely for free. You've got to buy the plush, and you got to pay for the shipping to get the machines to you. So I think that people that can't afford to buy a ton of machines for a claw room, or that can't afford to be, can afford the shipping cost of something and want to be into medium or large size machines versus minis. I think it's a great opportunity. It's something totally different that they offer, and I think that their plush has improved dramatically over the years. So I saw all their stuff at the shows, and it's really nice. I mean, they've got the plush with the big, glittery eyes and that kind of stuff, which is the popular stuff. I really hope that at some point maybe they can get some licensing stuff. Somebody said they're working on that. I don't know if that's true, but that'd be nice if you could have not just like crabs or something, but you could have like SpongeBob, in the machines or something. But you really are limited to what you can put in them. So hold on one second. Amelia's texting me. So hold on. Okay. So they're great. I think for certain people they work out really good. Just remember that these types of machines are harder to place. So if you're just starting out and you're thinking that, oh, I could just go and get these free machines and this plush, but imagine you're placing a 24 to 60-inch machine, not 60-inch, but like 31-inch to machine versus a mini. So those are a little harder to place. So keep that in mind. But I think that I know Lisa at US Fun. She's a great lady. Their plush is improved quite a bit. But you are giving up, the ability to put your own stuff in there. They also keep track of all your sales and know if you do, because they can tell by what the machine is vending. They have all these checks and balances. So it's it's definitely a way to go, and nothing wrong with it. I think it's depends on doing what do you want to say, like your two lists of positives and negatives, and seeing what your ultimate goal is. But they have they have some great looking machines, and the plush is pretty good too. And I think that it's come a long way. It used to be, it was kind of cheesy and generic, but their plush has improved quite a bit. So I've got about 7 more minutes. If you guys had a couple more questions, and then I gotta go finish up dinner for everybody. What else did I want to talk about? So sounds like we will be back. Oh wait, there is more here. I didn't even see these. Oh geez. Okay, sorry, I missed all these. Holy cow. I agree. I have the machine ready. I have the location. Decline machine after waiting 3 weeks. Yeah. So he ordered a machine for somebody and they declined because they had to wait and they wanted somebody right away. So yeah, I'd say machines on hand, 100%. When a location agrees to a machine, install it that day or next day. Yep. So Natalie and I got that location, and I was down there the next day by 11 a.m. installing the machine. Same thing. Do you know any good deals on any claws going on around February 2026? I'm hoping to purchase a machine or 3 and get my business up and running. And again, I had a candy crane and a quarter pusher. Man, I wish we could do coin pushers. Yeah, I mean, that's a perfect time to like, we love the minis from Rainy. I mean, that's where we order all ours from. There are some new ones available by Pipeline. There's candy machine sells minis, but it depends on pricing and what you're looking for. And I think, by for us, options and everything else, that's why we go with Rainy. And we've had really good luck with them. It's what a lot of the veterans run. I think when you're new, which doesn't sound like you're new, I think that something from somebody else might be good if you're brand new and you don't really know what you're doing. But I think that if you're a veteran, most people, that's what they run. So I would, you're going to be, if you wanted to order some, I don't know if you're waiting for money for February, but if you have the money now, you ordered some, you're looking at 60 to 80 days. Right now it's about 71 days. Somebody told me that it was for them last time. So if you want to be that far out, then I would order machines now. But yeah. Oh, you had to sell the route when you moved. How often should we cleaning machines? Is dust considered aesthetic? No. We go to our busy locations once a week, really busy locations. And then most of our other locations we do every 2 weeks. We don't let them go any longer than that. So we clean our machines all the time. And especially if they're by doors or in big, you know, like a lot of like bigger places that have like big open spaces, they can get dirtier a lot quicker. So but yeah, I would clean your machines all the time. um yeah, so clean them every 2 weeks. Yeah. Kept Windex and towels in my bottom storage area. Yep. Okay, I got time for a couple more. What do we got? If one of my machines breaks, does that mean my whole business is doomed? No. So actually, Frank, you're going to be doing hopefully soon. He's got a couple mini claws with a few different problems on each of them that he's going to be doing a little thing in Vending Academy on, which I'm excited to join in for that. I won't give away if I know what the answer is, but he's going to basically troubleshoot with people and see if they can figure out what's wrong with the machines and then fix the machines with everybody. So then it shows, how to use a voltmeter, how to test things, what could the problem be. We're troubleshooting with people on the phone all the time. You guys can always email us. It's very hard to kind of, I can call you back, but it's hard to always answer my phone. But I'm happy to talk to you guys via email. Our emails should be in the description, or you just go to our website, howardhospitalitygroup.com. Send me an email with questions you have or help that you need. Join the academy, like I said, because there's a ton of help in there and a lot of people that want to help, which is great. So, but yeah, so if your machine breaks, you're not doomed. And usually, it's pretty easy. It's a pretty easy fix, and usually it's pretty inexpensive to fix it, which is fantastic. So, do you use glass in the mini claw? So, do you mean like glass products, like to vend? If you did do something like that, you'd probably want to put down some really thick foam down in your price chute, or you'd want to put them wrapped in like bubble wrap or like maybe plastic or something inside of a capsule of some kind. I wouldn't put anything glass in there that can break, and you need to make sure that it won't. And even sometimes when the claw comes back and stops to drop it, like it kind of flings it certain ways. So just having it where it falls down and you think it's going to land on something soft is not always a for sure thing. So I would probably put them in capsules. You can do a little picture of what's in the capsules on your machine or on your advertising screen on the top. Like if you go run them like we do, you could put something on your ad screen that says, glass, whatever, in capsules or whatever you're doing that might be glass. I would put it inside a capsule if you can. Um, Looking for more videos on radio machines updates. Yes, so we have some machines coming. I just got some cloth stands in because we were out of them. I'm gonna do a video on one of those for you guys. So I have that coming up, and then she is going to be sending me the new version of some machines. And so I'm gonna be doing some videos on those. A lot of improvements to the minis, some of the newer machines too that a lot of people may not have seen yet. We're gonna be doing videos on those too. So that's all coming. We are looking at a couple machines from Pipeline right now. So if I get a couple of those, I'll do some videos on those for you guys also. Because there's some really neat stuff that's come out. And I want to look at them closer in March. He sent me a bunch of photos and stuff, but I really want to see them in person, I think, before I buy them. But if I do, I will do videos on those. Oh, I think he meant plexi or glass on the door. So ours come with glass on the door. I think glass is better personally, because they doesn't scratch as easy as the plexiglass. The plexiglass is horrible. People will just carve stuff in your plexiglass and stuff. So it does happen. It's very rare, but it does happen where sometimes the prize locker glass sometimes breaks. But I still replace it with glass. I mean, you can order plexiglass or replace it with plexiglass, but I think plexiglass is easier to clean. It stays nice. It doesn't like get a weird sheen to it in the light. So I stay away from plexiglass if I can. A lot of people swear by it and they think it's better, but I don't like it. I think that the glass on the door, and usually, like if a machine's pretty good quality on the doors, that's framed all the way around. There are manufacturers out there, I won't mention any names, but they do minis without a fully framed door, which I don't think is great. So, yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, guys, I gotta run to go cook some dinner. Um, Talk to Matt, and hopefully we're going to try to do a couple live streams together coming up. But I know we're all returning to doing live streams at the beginning of the year. These are just kind of little updates on what we're doing and maybe answer a few questions while I'm here and help if I can, or point you in the right direction. I don't know everything, obviously. I think that's why the Academy's been so great, because I've been learning stuff from everybody. So love to have you guys join. We're trying to grow as many people as we can and just have these huge meetings and just share all types of information with each other. And yeah, so please email me if you have questions. Go to the website if you have questions. You can ask us on there too. We do have a chat function on there. Love to help you. But all of us will be back beginning of the year. And hopefully I can grab David and maybe do one of these with David. He's just hit or miss sometimes, and Matt's wasn't available tonight. So, but also, I mean, you can get us all the time in the Vending Academy. So if you want to hang out with us in there, we're all there. So, all right, you guys, I'll talk to you guys next time. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Please email me. Thanks for watching. I'm going to try to do one more this week if I can. And yeah,